Let's talk about why some people are racist. During the early days of the transatlantic slave trade, the ruling classes became aware that most middle and working class people, as well as the church, wouldn't accept the mass enslavement of an advanced and intelligent people, which is what the Europeans found when they arrived in Africa. An advanced, intelligent, diverse people with some of the most sophisticated cultures on earth. In the 1450s, the slave trading leaders of Portugal commissioned Portuguese writer Gomes de Zurara, don't forget that name, to come up with a justification for their barbaric trade. He had no background in biology or anthropology or any science. He was just a writer. This writer literally, and I mean that literally, invented the concept of blackness, a grouping of all the diverse peoples of the continent of Africa. And he described them as inferior and beastly. With a simple stroke of a pen, millions of people, stereotyped, and hundreds of years of mistreatment began. De Zurara further divided humans into 5 races and coined the term Caucasian. Just think about that for a second. Before this moment in history, there was no talk of black people, no talk of white people or Asian people, and consequently, no talk of black people being good at X and white people being bad at Y. That was until De Zurara wrote his book. The public were told that Africans were lazy, backward, savage, violent, dirty, and completely untrustworthy. Do those propaganda statements sound familiar? They should, because that brainwashing is what the racists in the present day still hang on to. The slurs against black people haven't changed, and that's the reason. This racism that we speak of is actually intergenerational brainwashing, and these racists are just blindly repeating the lies that their ancestors were told, retelling the same old racial tropes as if they were old family stories. You could see them online, and they all use the same set of statements. These racists have been brainwashed by their parents and peers with hundreds of years of reinforcement of made-up stereotypes. Now, biased media reporting, which is helping to maintain the age-old power structures, as well as a willful misunderstanding of the impact on black people and how their mistreatment has led to the prevalence of such things as crime and broken homes, all serve to reinforce the brainwashing. On top of that, selective bias, whereby the person tends to notice things that reinforce their already held worldview, further embeds the brainwashing. Imagine the Tories take away funding for youth clubs and youth services, which leads to an increase in youth crime across the board, and the media only choose to highlight black involvement, leading to a further reinforcement of the brainwashing. You never hear the media reporting that the Albanians are one of the biggest and most violent gangs in London, for example. They're basically being hidden by the media. The people of the UK, by and large, are not racist. The BNP and National Front both tried and failed to get a popular foothold in this country. Even Nigel Farage didn't survive beyond Brexit. The brainwashed racists are a small minority, but they are very vocal, particularly online. The vast majority of people are smart enough and self-aware enough to reject the brainwashing and see the media bias for what it is, because they know what all people of reasonable intelligence know, that you cannot assign a particular behavioral characteristic to one race. So what do we do about it? I've seen racist reform before. It can happen. It is possible. But it's not going to be me that deprograms them from the brainwashing. It's not going to be me that they listen to. They need to hear it from their own communities. So if you're challenging racism wherever you see it, be it online or in real life, then you're already doing most of what needs to be done. And if you're not, maybe it's time to ask yourself, why are you helping to perpetrate the brainwashing? Follow for more.